Hey guys, how you doing? John here. How's everyone doing today? All right, so a little earlier tonight, or earlier this afternoon, I don't know when. My friend Ryan Echo here on YouTube, he uploaded a short video called. The title is it was why do shows decline after season 4? Why do shows start to go down in quality somewhat significantly after the fourth season of them? And it's an interesting topic. Him and I actually discussed it privately on Twitter through DMs a little bit, and I thought I'd make a video, kind of doing a quick little vlog, just giving my thoughts on the subject. Maybe not that quick. We'll see how it goes. I'll link to his video down below. I recommend check out his channel. He talks about so far just cartoons. I don't know if he'll have a branch out into live action, but he's got some good reviews on his channel. Doesn't upload a lot, but when he does, good. I don't upload a lot either though, so who am I to judge? All right, so video is interesting. So basically, Ryan talks about in his video about how a lot of shows that he watches, likes, and enjoys kind of starts to go down in quality after the fourth season. Some of the examples he shows are stuff like what are they? We got SpongeBob. He talks about like Orange is the New Black, which I haven't watched much of. Walking Dead, which I haven't watched much of. One thing I will say about SpongeBob though is I think that the fifth season it definitely has some bad episodes, but I don't know. There's a lot of really great episodes in season 5, which I'm struggling to think of at the moment, but they're out there. I guess a lot of the ones Mr. Enter talked about. But anyway, yeah. So do I agree with his idea about shows going down season 4 after season 4? Not necessarily. No. You see, now obviously, of course, it is true that there will be that after a certain amount of time, going on too long, a lot of these shows, will start to go down in quality, at least somewhat significantly. Whether they be live action, animated, adult, kid, whatever. I may have to disagree with him about the amount of time. I would say maybe a good amount of seasons before you start going downhill. Could be like 5, 6, maybe even 7. I can think of a number of shows that, kept their quality. Like one show I've been watching recently is Degrassi, The Next Generation. And that show, I would say mostly stayed pretty consistent with quality, for this throughout the first 7 seasons before they did big cast changes. I think a show is like, I don't know, the American Office, which I don't know exactly when it was, but like after Steve Carell left, I think the show definitely went down in quality for a period of time. But I think after got into the groove of getting used to, the show not having him on it, it started to go up a little bit again. And that's another thing is that I think sometimes, like, even if a show can go down in quality, they can still produce great stuff. So I think that's one point that, is worth mentioning. Like, one of my favorite TV shows is Boy Meets World. And with that show, I would say after, like, the 4th or 5th season, like once they got into college, there was definitely somewhat of a drop in quality for a number of reasons, like adding new and necessary characters. That was one thing. And however, the show I definitely still could have, like, I think at that point it went from a show that was great to just kind of good. And however, there's still a lot of great episodes. Like, I think my favorite episode of the whole series is from the final 7th season. I think there's still a lot of great stuff that can exist. So that's one thing to consider. I when I had spoke to Ryan priorly on this on Twitter, I mentioned the show Breaking Bad, which I don't believe he's ever watched. I watched all of it somewhat recently. I don't know, a few months ago, and I told him about how the creator of the show intentionally only made the show 5 seasons because he didn't want it to start going down in quality. The thing about Breaking Bad, though, that's a show that I think got better as it went along. Or, like, I don't necessarily... So it had 5 seasons. I don't know if it's necessarily the case that it got better after the 4th. But the 5th, I'd say, was at least as good as the 4th. And he talks about some examples of shows that are exception to this. He mentions Gumball and Bojack Horseman, or he shows images of them. Bojack Horseman, I think, is also a show that somewhat improved as it went along. I think it was always pretty great, but I think definitely had a certain level of improvement as it went along. It definitely is not a show that ever went down in quality. Sometimes like I'll watch certain shows like I don't know, like there'll be certain sitcoms that I'll watch like in syndication, like I don't know, like Full House. I used to watch a lot in syndication. Seinfeld, The King of Queens. There's shows that goes on for like 7, 8, 9 seasons. I don't necessarily like notice like a huge drop in quality. You know, Ryan talked about some of the different reasons. Like the creators just kind of get tired of it. He talks about how he sometimes personally kind of just gets tired of certain things, or has high expectations, so anything that's not perfect, he starts to lose interest. And there can be a number of reasons. Adding new characters, which sometimes is more. Sometimes adding new characters can be more of a thing where it's like they start to run ideas, so they add new characters, or they just feel like the need to add new characters to stay fresh. I remember watching segments from Butch Hartman's podcast talking about how he felt the need to add characters like Chloe, Sparky, and Poof for the odd parents as a way to keep the show fresh. As it was going on for all these years. Obviously a show going on like that long, like I don't know, 10 seasons at least. It's probably going to start to go down significantly in quality. There can be some exceptions to that, like I don't know, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Most people agree with that. South Park, I would argue, has kept a certain level of quality, although it can, have seasons that are weaker. I wouldn't necessarily mind if the show ended. Some people might argue it goes down in quality. I don't know. I like The Big Bang Theory. A lot of people say that went down in quality. I don't necessarily agree, although I haven't seen a ton of some of the last couple seasons, so I can't say for sure. But yeah, it is likely that at a certain point, I guess just kind of maybe more the main disagreement I might have with him is how long. Like, I feel like there's kind of nothing necessarily wrong with the show going on for like at least 6 or 7 seasons. If it's a good show, if it's popular, people watch and like it. Even if they don't, if it's not extremely popular, if it has enough of a solid audience in there, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And I think just because, I guess one thing where I'm a little different than Ryan is I don't necessarily give up on a show that I once really liked. I tend to kind of stick with it more, or at least go back to it eventually. And there definitely can be some shows that can kind of, have a, change in quality, like they start to go down and they go back up again. So, it depends on a number of factors. Not really sure if there's a main point to this, just, I guess, giving a few thoughts on this, some examples. Alright, so that's all I gotta say. I got the script for my Victorious review written. I just need to film it and be able to do that tomorrow when I'm off, and send it to my editor, and they'll be done with that whenever they're done with it. So, alright, that's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching. Check out Ryan, and have a good day.